What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Honeystead. I've had a lot of people ask me about herbal medicine and where do you start? And so I started to do a little bit of thinking, and in the beginning, when I started sharing more about foraging, I put out a video where I challenged each one of you to find 5 different plants that are growing outside your front door. Now, when I put that video out, I wanted you to really start to explore the plants that are in your area. And obviously, we are going into a different season, a different change. So my garden might not look as beautiful and lush as what it did a few months ago when I put that video out, but more and more of you are asking about where to start. And I really probably should be doing this video inside in my kitchen because I want you to stop and actually look at your spices that you have inside your kitchen. A lot of your seasonings offer medicinal properties, and being that we're going into winter, and so a lot of you are probably going to be spending a lot more time inside, maybe that would be a good place for you to start. This is a seed pod for my oregano. So the seeds itself are starting to turn and dry, and this is what I'll be gathering and saving for my next year's garden. Also kind of doing one of these along the way, but I have some lovely oregano that is just completely amazing. And so I'm starting here. I'm starting in our herb garden to introduce you guys to this in a medicinal form and not just for seasoning. This isn't just a plant that you would put on your chicken when you're cooking or throwing on a roast. This offers a lot of medicinal properties, and they're too good to not share. Now, oregano is one of these herbs that are not just good for yourself, but we use them for our honeybees. Oregano is a very strong medicinal plant that has a lot of volatile oils on that. So when our honeybees come over to the plant and they land on the flower and they start to pull the nectars from it, they're also exposing themselves to the volatile oils. Just like thyme and oregano, those two are great categories for your pollinator friends. And so what they'll do is they'll rub all over the plant and they'll get the volatile oils on them. And then when they go back to their colony, they tend to brush up against the other girls that are in there, and they start to clean themselves and they start to remove the volatile oils that are actually on them from this plant. Thyme and oregano contain a constituent that's called thymol. And if you are familiar with beekeeping and what you might use for varroa mite treatment, thymol is one chemical constituent in certain mite treatments that they use for your colonies to help keep them clean. I'm not saying we have perfect colonies with low varroa mite, but I have plans and I have an experiment that I want to try next year, and I will be taking you guys with me along that journey. But what can oregano do other than adding a lovely new flavor to a dish? In short, there are many actions that oregano actually offers, and actions are what they are doing inside your body. So a lot of people know the term anti-inflammatory. That's to reduce inflammation. Oregano is actually considered an anti-inflammatory. It's also considered an antiseptic, antibacterial, antifungal. It has many properties that it can offer. I've even read studies about the use of oregano when you have a cold or flu-like symptoms, and just the offering the relief during those times, whether it's congestion of your chest. Probably wouldn't be the best tasting tea, but don't underestimate some of the herbs that you have in your spice rack. It's starting to get a little dark out here. Now, all of the girls that I have behind me, they are all tucked in for the evening. They have worked all day, they've commuted for miles, and they are beat. This little leaf that I have right here, this is from sage. Now, sage also another lovely little herb that you can add into your dishes, whether you're cooking up a chicken or you're adding it for extra seasoning. Sage also offers some properties that I don't think you should overlook. And I have read that it has been used to help with women transitioning and easing the symptoms of menopause. I'm only touching just a little bit of some of these wonderful plants and what they can do for you, not just adding into your food, but the other properties that they offer. And part of what we like to do, and my mom's not here with me right now, but one of the things that we love to do, especially when it comes to learning about plants, is by having a conversation. So this is the start of our conversation. I want you to go into your spice rack and actually look and see what you have in there that is typical, common, but what else? The what else part is the conversation. That is what I'm eager to see and hear what you guys discover throughout your journey of herbalism, homesteading, gardening, planting them for the bees, all of the above. When you look at herbal medicine, a lot of the plants offer support for your gut. You know, they ease the stomach pain. And what you put into your body food-wise really determines your overall feeling. So when you're looking at plants and you're looking at herbs and spices, I want you to take all of that into consideration, because when you're looking at these herbs, I want you to think about them as food. You know, technically, they are food. And what you eat and what you put into your body predicts your overall health and how you're feeling. I could sit here and smell the sage all evening, but it's starting to get very dark, so we're gonna move fast, and I might have to take you guys into my greenhouse she shed. This lovely little plant right here, this is called peppermint. Probably one of the first herbs that I actually ever grew was peppermint, and I will tell you from experience, if you guys plan on growing peppermint, go ahead and grow it in a container and not directly sowed into the ground unless you go ahead and focus it on the wood line. That is beautiful. But peppermint tends to grow, and the more you harvest, the more it grows. I swear, my peppermint has probably grown about 15 feet in a direction that I was like, I didn't intend for you to be there, but since you're there now, well, we're gonna deal with it. So a lot of people will use peppermint to add to a tea. It just adds a little refreshing crispness to anything that you're drinking. But I use it for upset stomachs. If my stomach is just not right, I'll take it, I'll chew on a little bit, or I'll have a mint, especially during my time when I was expecting as a mom to be. That was the worst, and this little plant was probably my lifesaver throughout my pregnancies. Now, talking about your digestive system, I did find some pretty interesting information about peppermint helping assist in supporting your body, especially with individuals who experience irritable bowel syndrome. The other thing that I will tell you that has been helpful is if I'm congested, the menthol in it, the oils that are in it, will also help open up your sinus cavities. So you can take peppermint, brew a cup of tea, and just breathe it. You know, just hold your nose over it and allow it to open. A lot of people hang eucalyptus in their shower. So that steam, you know, they're breathing in all the oils from that plant. I don't have eucalyptus, and I have not had the best of luck trying to grow it here. Maybe one day, and that's kind of a challenge for myself that I might try. But I might try to do peppermint hanging in my shower and see if that kind of has similar effects. I also like to have peppermint here on hand quite often because we add it into many of our teas, especially our cold and flu teas. When we are not feeling good, you want that menthol-like freshness when you're congested and not feeling that great. So peppermint's one that I would absolutely add, and you can cook with it too. The other plant that I would like to talk about is rosemary. Now, rosemary is completely amazing little plant as well. Great for circulation, great for your brain boost. I do know how much it's beneficial. And rosemary into a tincture, rosemary into a tea, either which you're cooking with your rosemary. this is a whole nother way of just looking at your spice cabinet. And yeah, Thanksgiving's coming up. You're gonna be adding a little bit of rosemary to that turkey, I'm sure, if you have a turkey. Or if you're like me, I love to add a little bit of rosemary to my stuffing. But knowing that it offers more than just an extra treat, I think is, to me, what fascinates me the most about herbs. And these are herbs that most of you use every single day. Now, rosemary is also considered an anti-inflammatory. It's an antioxidant. It's a neuroprotectant. So that basically means that it protects your nervous system, and it does more. But this is part of your homework, and this is part of our conversation. Now, I have many more that we could sit and talk about, but I'm gonna start with those 4. And unfortunately, the one plant that I did want to talk to you guys about, it's too dark, so I can't really add that in on this video. But this is the start. This is the start of our discussion. So before I challenge you to find 5 different plants that you had growing outside, I still challenge you. But know that we're going into a different change of the season. And I know that not everyone is going to be able to go out and look and see the plants that are growing outside, whether they're in your garden or whether you're foraging for them. But this is a different way. Let's change it up a little bit. Let's look and see what you have inside your kitchen, inside your pantry even. I don't want you to stop learning, because I don't think I'll ever stop learning. And each day that I find out, each day that I read something else, it just adds a little bit of extra. And don't just limit yourself to the plants that I just spoke about. There are so many more. Cinnamon, ginger, look up cayenne, look up pepper. What else can it do? The hopes are that everyone who has watched this video will leave a comment down below, and you might be able to pick up and read from their comment. We're having a conversation about these herbs, and I do invite you to be part of it. And I'm sure there's going to be many more parts to this video, but for right now, this is what I had to offer. And as always, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty and learn something old. Bye guys.